Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel of Mr. Loons, and today I'm doing Game Week 3 predictions of the Premier League. Starting off on the 25th of August, it is Chelsea at Stamford Bridge facing Luton Town, and well, Chelsea, they're going to be wanting to bounce back after a 3-1 loss against West Ham United. They played well in that 3-1 loss, but they didn't take their chances, they didn't finish their beans. They had 76% possession, they had a ton of chances in that game. Raheem Sterling had a good game, creating chances. Nicholas Jackson got stuck in. Chelsea I think, played very well. I felt like they at least deserved a point in that game. Facing Luton Town, which lost 4-1 in that opening game against Brighton and Hove Albion, has hardly any Premier League experience. Ross Barkley could make his debut against Chelsea. It'd be interesting to see how good Ross Barkley can actually do in this game if he does start. But I feel like Luton Town will get a goal because Chelsea, in previous matches, like against Liverpool, they made a few mistakes. So I think Luton Town could capitalise on that. Maybe Carlton Morris could get on top of one. And recently, in these last few game weeks, there has been a few soft penalty decisions happening. So I feel like Luton Town will get like a penalty, or maybe Chelsea make a silly mistake at the back and they'll get a goal. But overall, I'm going with the favourites Chelsea. They're going to have to bounce back after a loss against West Ham United. A refreshed side under Pochettino, a much better manager. It's going to be 2-1 to Chelsea. Moving on to the next game, it is the 26th of August, a whole new day. It is AFC Bournemouth for the early kickoff at 12:30 PM facing Tottenham Hotspur. And well, I remember this game last season, I think Bournemouth were winning by quite a bit, I think like 2-3-0, and then Tottenham came from a comeback. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game here between the two sides. Bournemouth, Semenyo, is that how you say it? He got himself a goal and did very well overall. Played very well in that game. But Bournemouth still lost 3-1 to Liverpool. They're yet to get a win. And I think against Spurs, the fact that they managed to win against Manchester United 2-0, the fact that they're having more passes than normal in the opposition half. The first game against Brentford, they're high pressing. They're doing all sorts without Harry Kane. And they're doing very well, very, very well to get a 2-0 win against Manchester United. And I think they're going to keep up the momentum. But I feel like Bournemouth are going to do well at the Vitality Stadium. And they're going to compete. It's going to be a close-ish game, but I feel like Spurs will be the dominant side, and they'll win it 3-2. Moving on to the next game, it is Brentford versus Crystal Palace, and Brentford are just too good. If Crystal Palace makes any mistake in this next game, a silly mistake like Diop did for Fulham, then Wissa or Mbeumo is going to capitalise, and they capitalise well. That's what they do fantastically. And they work as a team really, really good. And without Ivan Toney, they've got a solution for that. Wissa and Mbeumo. And they also have Henry, which is very creative overall in that wing-back role. And Brentford, overall, just have lovely, fluent football, looking fantastic. And Crystal Palace, they only just about lost 1-0 against Arsenal. And Elise has signed a new contract for Crystal Palace, whether he's going to be fit for the next game. But obviously they have Eze and everything. And I think with Eze in the team, I feel like Crystal Palace will nick a goal against Brentford. But Brentford are looking way too good. And with the home advantage, the Bees are going to win this 2-1. And the next game is Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium facing Fulham FC. And well, I'm just going to be straight here. And Arsenal are going to win this. I think this one's a really obvious one. Arsenal at home, they won back-to-back. Fulham only just about won against Everton. They got thrashed against Brentford. Defensively, they look shocking. Diop making that mistake, as I mentioned earlier on, against Brentford. Attacking-wise, they're not creative enough. Without Alexander Mitrovic now, it's going to be huge. And when Palhinha returns from his injury, apparently he could leave. They are looking shocking and facing an Arsenal side, which has Saka, Nketiah, Martinelli doing roulette passes. It's fantastic. It's majestic football from Arsenal, and this is going to be a walk in the park for Arsenal. I'm going 2-0 to Arsenal. Domination, easy win for Arsenal. Moving on to the next game, it is Manchester United at Old Trafford facing Nottingham Forest. Well, Manchester United have not had a good start to the season at all. Yes, they won 1-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers, but they did not deserve it. But I have to admit, Manchester United, Luke Shaw had a few key passes and looked quite creative in that left-back role. And Bruno Fernandes, obviously, a very creative player. And Manchester United are going to have to be getting a win here. Nottingham Forest have a terrible away record last season. And facing Manchester United at home, I don't see Nottingham Forest winning this, but I do feel like they're going to nick a goal because Manchester United have started off shaky and Nottingham Forest are one away. Fantastic, scored back-to-back. And Chris Wood, I think, could make impacts when he comes on off the bench. As shown, I think the best thing that Chris Wood does is scoring penalties, he's fantastic at, and winning headers to score the headers is that's the best thing for Chris Wood. He's an impact substitute that comes on to take a penalty or to header the ball into the back of the net. And Arai, can we talk about him? 2 assists, 2 lovely balls, 2 huge key passes by Arai. Fantastic. But I don't think it's going to be enough against a Manchester United side that wants to be getting a win after a loss against Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester United have quality. Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, they definitely have quality, Manchester United, and Casemiro. Mason Mount definitely isn't coming up with a good start, but against Nottingham Forest, they're going to have to be winning this 2-1. Moving on to the next game, it's Everton versus Wolves. 2 sides which have been hard scoring goals this season. Everton with only 0 goals, and Wolves with 1 goal, which they scored in the 4-1 defeat against Brighton and Hove Albion. And well, that goal that Hwang scored from the header, he looked surprised when he scored it. But I feel like this is going to be a 0-0 result. The first 0-0 of the Premier League season. I feel like it's going to be 0-0. Everton create loads of chances. Wolves create loads of chances. But they can't score. And I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be an exciting game with loads of chances. But it's going to be 0-0. I can't split the sides overall. And both sides struggle to score because they need that number 9. So I'm going down the middle, 0-0. Moving on to the next game, it is Brighton and Hove Albion versus West Ham United. And while Brighton is sensational, one man, Matoma, he went past 2, 3, 4 players, gliding through them at high speeds to dribble really well and have the agility to do that as well. And then having the composure to take the finish really well at high speeds is world class, elite. He is world class. Not many people can do that, and Matoma is sensational. And March making some good runs into the box, and Ciso, a good assist for him. Brighton are overall looking fantastic, and I think West Ham United are going to finish 10th this season. I think they're going to have a very good season, West Ham United. But facing Brighton, yes, West Ham were very disciplined and executed the game plan from David Moyes really, really well. But facing Brighton and Hove Albion, I think Brighton are going to win this 3-1. I feel like it'll be close. In the first half, it'll be close, and then Brighton will take away from it. Matoma, March, masterclass again. They're going to score goals. Brighton are just too good for West Ham United at the moment. I think they're going to keep up the momentum. 3-1 to Brighton. Moving on to the next game. It is on a whole new day. It's the 27th of August. Sheffield United at Bramall Lane facing Manchester City. And well, Manchester City haven't conceded a goal in the first 2 games. Got a very good 1-0 win against Newcastle United. And Phil Foden, when Kevin De Bruyne isn't there, Phil Foden thrives for Manchester City and does fantastic. He could have had a hat-trick of assists in that game if Erling Haaland could finish his beans. But this game, Haaland can definitely finish his beans. Alvarez with a very good goal in that game as well. Manchester City are going to win this 3-0 against Sheffield United, who have lost back-to-back in their games. But Hammer, I have to admit, Game Week 2, goal of the week was Hammer's goal for Sheffield United. What a goal. Blasting that top right. Fantastic goal against Nottingham Forest. But Manchester City are just way too good for Sheffield United. So 3-0 to Manchester City. Moving on to the next game. It is at Turf Moor. It is Burnley versus Aston Villa. And Burnley are going to be wanting to get their first point. Obviously, the last game was postponed against Luton Town. But the one before it was a 3-0 loss against Manchester City. Now, that's a hard game to go in the opener. And straight away have Manchester City, supposedly the best team in the world after getting a treble last season. So that's not really them performing really bad. But all I know about Burnley is that they've changed their style of football. Vincent Kompany's football was very different to Sean Dyche's football. I think that's what's going to make them a mid-table club at around 12th, 11th, 13th this season. Facing Aston Villa, after losing 5-1 against Newcastle United, which is a very good team, Newcastle, they go on and recover. Unai Emery, a brilliant manager, to then recover and win 4-0 against Everton. It's sensational. Honestly, fantastic. Facing Burnley, I feel like Burnley are this is their time to show us something in the Premier League. And I think they will. They will give it their all. But I feel like Aston Villa have too much quality after that 4-0 win. After recovering from a 5-1 loss and to win at 4-0, Unai Emery's side is looking too good for Burnley. And it's going to be a tight scoreline, but I feel like Aston Villa will be dominant. And I think Aston Villa are going to win this 1-0. Newcastle United at St James's Park. And they're facing Liverpool. Now, fun fact, last season, when these two teams met twice in the Premier League campaign, Liverpool won both of them. So I feel like this could probably go either way in this game. Newcastle United, the midfield team a bit quiet, and they only had one shot on target, which was Harvey Barnes' long-range shot, and Edison just catched it. But overall, Newcastle got a very good defence, so it's going to be low scoring. Could we see Lewis Hall debut in this game? I think we could. Dan Burn had a bit of a meh game, but the game before, Dan Burn did very well, and the whole Newcastle United side did well. I think it's just because Newcastle played against Manchester City. And now being at home against Liverpool, it definitely could be a win. But Liverpool, so Bosley played fantastic. McAllister got a red card. Again, that's a bit soft. Another soft decision by the referee. I think also Bosley going down that easily. Another soft decision by the referee. It's going to be a lot of soft decisions, it looks like. I can't split these sides, I'm going down the middle, a draw. 1-1. I think it could go either way. So I'm going 1-1. Before I end the video, last week, how did I do? Well, I got one exact right result, and I got 4 scorelines right, like winning, drawing, or losing, but I didn't get the exact scoreline right. So overall, that puts me on 6 points out of a possible 18 points in Game Week 2, and overall, I'm sitting on 15 points out of 38 points. That is the end of my video. Hopefully you can like and subscribe, and always remember to turn on notifications to never miss one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I will see you next time. Toodle pip now.